wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. All the dignitaries and judges watching this video of mine, a very good morning to one and all. Myself, Samina Sajid Mistry, Assistant Professor in Anjuman Islam Janjira, Degree College of Science. Today I am here to present my paper on role of education system in COVID-19 situation and related topics. So let's start with the introduction. Well, at the end of February, as alarm bells began to sound on the growing spread of COVID-19 virus, the World Bank established a multi-sectoral globe task force to support country response and coping measures. At the time, only China and a handful of schools in other affected countries were enforcing social distancing through school closures. A little over 2 weeks later, 120 countries have also closed schools, impacting almost 1 billion students across the globe that have seen their school closed for a very length of time. This paper introduces what are various measures of coping with COVID-19 by educational institutes and organizations. I have described all the measures and steps taken by government as well as educational institutes in facing the COVID-19 situation. I have also mentioned some few more topics that could be taken to improve the education palette and make it stronger in the COVID-19 situation. So let's start with the paper. So let's start with some of the key points. Just focusing the key points. The pandemic spread of novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has significantly disrupted every aspect of human life, including education. The alarming spread of the virus caused havoc in educational system, forcing educational institutions to shut down. According to a UNESCO report, 1.6 billion children across 191 countries have been severely impacted by the temporary closure of the educational institutions. So, let's see these key points that I have mentioned in my PowerPoint presentation. See, I have also mentioned that according to a UNESCO report, 1.6 billion children across 191 countries have been severely impacted by the temporary closure of the educational institutions. Different responses from different sectors of educational systems for student, teachers, managers, parents, and depending on the other resources. That means different sectors and different institutions, different universities, different schools have responded in a very different way to this COVID-19 situation. I myself am a teacher in Anjuman Islam Janjira Degree College of Science. I am also facing the same situation, not only me and all my colleagues which are with me, teaching students online from home, digitally, now facing lots of problems to teach students. So in my paper, I have discussed few of the points that could help teachers to teach students online digitally and also how students can gain information digitally through this paper. So first, let's see what were the international efforts to manage the impact of COVID-19 on school education. Internationally, we will be talking about few countries. Like various countries have adopted a range of measures to respond to the pandemic depending on their available resources. Countries like Italy, France, Germany, Australia, UK, US have adopted distance learning as a means for compensating the loss. They quickly enhanced their e-learning platforms like Moodle, LMS, cloud systems, etc. etc. So let's talk about the India. Well, when talking about India, in this situation, I will be focusing about the digital learning mostly, initiatives already taken by the educational institutes, and so on. So first, let's see impacts of COVID-19 in India. In order to understand the impacts of school closures and resulting technologized education, it is important to understand the fundamental differences in what may be termed as the normal education and the new socially or physically distanced education, like digital learning and physical learning. What is physical learning? Physical learning is something that we teach to students in class face to face while students are facing us and looking at us. While digital learning is somewhat was a very different concept or a very different topic which had cured or which had caused a lot of problems and troubles to the teachers. like role of educational institutes and trusts in coping with COVID-19 situation. So migration to digital ways is the first point which will be taken by all the institutes and organizations, educational organizations. First one is that migration to digital ways in 5 steps. We have 5 steps through which we are planning to migrate to digital ways. Let's see one by one. Planning for digital learning. Planning should begin with the expected learning in mind. A digital document must be created with the learning sequence as well as the activities that the students will have to do with precise instructions. Use videos with theoretical content or explanations, presentations, or internet links to reliable sources of information. All this content must be placed on a platform accessible to the students at any time. A repository is required for delivery and elaboration of activities. It can be a cost-effective platform like Canvas, Blackboard, and Moodle also. Possible uses free access platforms such as Schoology or Google Classroom. This will allow having the material orderly and easily accessible. Let's talk about the second topic, that is time for synchronous session. The classroom becomes a virtual classroom using platforms such as Zoom, Hangouts, Skype, and Microsoft Teams, which a teacher can interact with students in real time. The time used in face-to-face sessions should be converted to appropriate times for remote sessions. Considering the following, in-person students have greater physical, visual, and interactive mobility with other colleagues. In contrast, in a remote session, the concentration is focused on a screen and mobility is fully lost. Therefore, online lessons should be shorter and coupled with activities designed to encourage and stimulate the students' learning. Let's talk about the third point, that's interaction with the students. Interaction should occur in all online sessions, not only synchronously but also asynchronously. To know the students' progress and difficulties, real-time interactive platforms like Menti or Kahoot allow the teacher to throw out the questions to students and get immediate answers. Platforms such as EdPuzzle allow the teacher to monitor the editing of videos and ask students questions to know their progress. Google Classroom allows receiving activities and sending feedbacks to students. The next point is digital stimulation is not everything. Similar to the duration of a remote session, the stimuli that the student receives from a screen must be complemented by activities where the students can develop manual, writing, and motor skills as well as the verbal communication and organizational skills. It is vitally important to design different time segments with session, especially when the time allotted to the meeting is longer than 1 hour. If the course is really considered 1 or 2 sessions of the week in which students do individual or team activities where the teacher is the only guide or the advisor. Okay, let's see the last point of this, assessment beyond online exams. The standard solution for online evaluation is the use of technology platform to develop multi-choice exams, sentence competitions, and true or false questions. These are relatively easy to create on digital platforms as well as Google Forms and score it daily. My suggestion is to go and further find other assessment tools where the students demonstrates other skills and learnings. Not necessarily through a test, for example, virtual labs, online collaborative work, and the creation of physical and digital learning projects. Now let's see what are the roles of school administrators, teachers, and staffs. So I have mentioned few points that could be seen as the role of school administrators or school teachers or school staffs. Let's see with the basic principles. I will mention the basic principles point by point. Please note that. Sick students, teachers, and other staff should not come to school. Schools should enforce regular hand washing with safe water and soap, alcohol, rubber hand sanitizer, or chlorine solution, and at a minimum daily disinfection and cleaning of school surfaces. The schools should provide water, sanitation, and waste management facilities and follow environmental cleaning and decontamination procedures. Schools should promote social distancing, a term applied to certain actions that are taken to slow down the spread of highly contagious diseases, including limiting large groups of people coming together. So these are the few basic principles. Know about the latest facts tasks like understand basic information about coronavirus disease COVID-19, including its symptoms, complications, how it is transmitted, and how to prevent the transmission. Stay informed about COVID-19 through reputable sources such as UNICEF, WHO, and National Health Ministry advisors. Be aware of fake information myths that may circulate by word of mouth or online. The third point is ensure safe school operations. Let's see checklists on safe food environments, field update or develop school emergency and contingency plans, work with officials to guarantee schools are not used as shelters, treatments, units, etc. Consider cancelling and community events or meetings that casually take place on school premises based on risk. Next is establish procedures if students or staff become unwell. Like plan ahead with local health authorities, school health staff and update emergency contact lists. Ensure a procedure for separating sick students and staff from those who are well without creating stigma and a process for informing parents and consulting with healthcare providers or health authorities wherever possible. Students or staff may need to be referred directly to a health facility depending on the situation or context or sent home. Share procedures with staff, parents and students ahead of time. Then promote information sharing. This would be said as like sharing the information about Corona or COVID-19 with your colleagues, with your staff, with the students, with the neighbors, etc. etc. What are the latest information? Adapt school policies where appropriate. Adapt most recent school policies which would be beneficial for students for paying the fees or attending the exams or online exams likewise. So we have to adapt the most recent school policies which are appropriate. Monitor the school attendance. Implement school absenteeism monitoring systems to track student and staff absence and compare against unusual absenteeism patterns at the school. Alert local health authorities about large increase in student and staff absenteeism due to respiratory illness. Then plan for continuity of learning. Implement targeted health education. Address mental health or psychological support needs. Support vulnerable populations, etc. etc. are the few more topics that could be seen very important in the role of teachers and staff in the COVID-19 situation. So I would be concluding like this article has provided a situational analysis of the state of education during the COVID-19 closures of schools and universities. It has analyzed the impacts the pandemic has had on school education, pointed out some of the challenges arising from the school closures, and suggested some responses and strategies for the management of impacts. Thank you very much.